Hello, and welcome to the 2021 version of Firearms Friday from the Wyoming State Museum here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm Evan Green. I've been a volunteer here at the museum for 5 or 6 years, and for the last 3, I've been working with the staff as we update the inventory of firearms in the museum's permanent collection. There's 300-some firearms, and we're maybe 2/3 of the way through those. So as we encounter interesting or typical firearms, we are making these videos to share with you, and I hope you enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy making them. So what do we have here today? This is a little bit of a teaser for a video that we have planned for the near future. This is a Springfield Trapdoor rifle in caliber .45-70. But it's kind of a special one in that it is an officer's model. Well, what does that mean? The standard Trapdoor Springfield in .45-70 that was issued to the infantry was a long-barreled rifle with a full-length stock. And the carbine that was issued to the cavalry was a much shorter firearm and downloaded in power for use by the cavalry on horseback. And this one falls somewhere in between. This was never issued as a military firearm, but if you were a up-and-coming young officer, you could purchase one of these from Springfield Armory at a fairly reasonable price, frankly, even at the time. And it was specially designed to be an attractive and useful hunting firearm, although certainly some of the officers used them in a military combat context. So what makes them special? For one thing, most of the metal surfaces are engraved. In this one, the hammer is not, which led me to suspect it was a replacement, but I encountered other examples that were not engraved. It has this pewter, probably, fore-end cap, and many of them came with a detachable unit at the wrist of the stock that made sort of a pistol grip to give you a better grip on the rifle. And they also came with a tang sight that had a peep sight on an arm that was attached to this metal plate right here. So there were only about 477 of these rifles made, so they are quite unique as a collector's firearm. I don't have much of the backstory on this one, but I'm presenting it kind of as a teaser because we do have in the collection a Springfield Trapdoor Officers Model that has very strong provenance that it belonged to Thomas Tipton Thornburg. Major Thornburg was the commanding officer at Fort Fred Steele in the fall of 1879 when he was ordered to take a detachment of cavalry and infantry to the Ute Reservation in northern Colorado because the Indian agent, one Nathan Meeker, was afraid that the Utes were going to kill him, which in fact they eventually did. But anyway, Thornburg was in command of this detachment, and he was killed on the first day of the Battle of Milk Creek, which was basically the boundary of the reservation. And as is the case with many of these situations, had there been better communication, there might not have been a need for a battle. But in any case, the expert on the Battle of Milk Creek is a guy named Mark Miller, who was at one time the state archaeologist here with Parks and Cultural Resources in Cheyenne. So we're hoping to get Mr. Miller to come in and share his wisdom and knowledge about the Battle of Milk Creek. I'll talk a little bit about the Thornburg rifle and probably hand it off to Mr. Miller to educate us on the Battle of Milk Creek. So anyway, stay tuned for that. We hope it's going to happen, and we will post it if it does. So thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions or input, you can put them in the comment section associated with the video, or you can contact us through the museum. So thanks for watching.